So, you have no idea where your husband is?
No idea. Not a clue. He could be anywhere.
When was the last time you saw him, Miss Colby?
Well, let's see. It's Tuesday. It must be 2 weeks now.
2 weeks?
Yes, because it was right after the harvest moon. And I remember saying to him, "Look, Clyde, it's the fucking harvest moon!" He didn't respond. I was a little miffed at the time, and now I realize that it was because he wasn't even there, which just goes to show you should never jump to conclusions.
So, Mr. Colby has been missing for 2 weeks, and you have never decided to report this fact to the police?
Heavens no. My husband is a very private person. I wouldn't want the police intruding in his personal life. Would you like some coffee, detective?
No, thank you. Miss Colby, you don't seem especially concerned about your husband's disappearance.
Well, of course I'm concerned, but I'm a warrior by nature, so I didn't give it that much weight. Besides, this is hardly unusual for Clyde. Once he walked out on us in the middle of Christmas dinner and called us 3 days later from British Columbia. He was trying to join up with the Mounties. Well, we all had a good laugh at that, you can imagine.
Miss Colby, we have reason to suspect that the circumstances here are much more serious than that.
Well, I should hope so.
We've spoken to your neighbors, and they reported there was a disturbance at the house the night your husband disappeared.
Really? Here? How funny.
Yes. They reported shouting and arguing, profane language, strange animal noises.
Animal noises. That's so interesting. Would you like some tea, detective?
No, thank you. Now, Miss Colby, did you and your husband have any sort of disagreement that evening?
Lordy, no. My husband and I are always in perfect concordance. Our evenings were invariably spent in placid, sedate self-satisfaction.
I see. There was no shouting.
Oh, the shouting, I can explain that. Clyde is getting a little hard of hearing, and I may have raised my voice at dad asking him what kind of topping he wanted on his ice cream frappe.
There was an overheard statement, and, well, I'm quoting here. Fat cat. I'll show you who's a fat cat.
Yes, well, I can explain that. We were playing a little game in the privacy of our bedroom, the details of which are rather salacious and not at all relevant to this investigation.
Perhaps not, but the words in question were spoken in the living room.
So we were moving around. It was spirited fun.
The neighbors reported screaming, lights going on and off, some sort of violent struggle with the Venetian blinds.
Yes, that was Clyde. He was pretending to be a parrot, you see.
A parrot.
Yes! We were playing the parrot and the cow. So naturally, he was jumping around the furniture, scratching the blinds, knocked over one of my best lamps. It was very comical and yet profoundly erotic.
I see.
Would you like a muffin, detective?
No, thank you. Now, Miss Colby, we've looked into some of your recent credit purchases over the last 2 weeks and discovered a very large bill from Home Depot for a load of mixing cement. 40 sacks, to be precise.
40 sacks. Yes, that sounds about right.
Now, on the face of it, that's a lot of cement, Miss Colby.
Yes, well, you see, I make bird baths as a hobby.
Bird baths?
Yes, I design my own bird bath molds.
I didn't notice any bird baths in your backyard.
Oh no, I give them all away to friends and passerby. For me, the joys of recreation.
But I did notice, up behind the garage, was a very large cement plot about 3 feet by 6 feet, which appears to be quite freshly laid.
Oh, yes. Well, that's all the excess cement. You see, there are so many false starts in bird bath construction, you have no idea.
Apparently not.
I eventually intend to build a shrine to St. Anthony out there. Would you like some sardines, detective?
No, thank you. Now, Miss Colby, forgive me, but it's my job to pick up on any discrepancies, and, well, there appears to be a large shovel tucked behind the couch there. Now, am I to assume that that is the customary spot for all of your heavy gardening tools?
No, not for the most part. But I use that particular shovel to clean away the cobwebs that tend to gather in the corners.
Most people would use a broom for that purpose.
Yes, most people would. The more fools they.
I have observed that, well, on the whole, you keep a very tidy home, Miss Colby.
I thank you, detective.
Which makes that stain on the carpet all the more conspicuous.
Oh? Is there a stain?
Yes, right there. It looks all the world to be like dried blood.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
But I take it it's not.
My stars, no. It's chocolate.
Chocolate?
Yes, we had a box of Godiva chocolates sitting around here for the longest time, and then one day, or maybe 2 weeks ago, I just dipped in and couldn't stop. I must have dropped a praline crunch on the floor. I was wondering what happened to it.
Excuse my presumption, ma'am, but that does not look like Godiva chocolate.
Oh, but it is. See? See? Still retaining its rich, decadent flavor. Would you like some?
No, thank you. Now, when I was referring to the fact that that does not look like Godiva chocolate, I was referring to the fact that it looks more like, how shall I say this? Nestle's!
I beg your pardon?
In the course of my various investigations over the years, I have had occasion to make a comparative study of the grades and qualities of foreign and domestic chocolates. This one has a very decidedly milky chocolatey texture to it, that of a commercial store candy bar chocolate. How do you explain that one, Miss Colby? Or can you?
Well, I.
Yes?
You caught me out, detective. I should have known better than to try and hoodwink a man of your acute perspicacity. Yes, it's a Snickers bar. My secret is out. Any commercial candy store about chocolate on the slide. Oh, if the girls in the country club knew this, I'm so embarrassed.
There, Miss Colby. Many decent citizens resort to lies and prevarications when social pressures come to bear. Needless to say, this will be not a little secret. It goes no farther than it's wrong.
Why, thank you, detective. You are a man of rare delicacy and perception.
Yes. I suppose I am. Well, I guess everything checks out. Thank you for your time, man. Oh, and one more thing. That game you mentioned, the one with the parrots and the cow.
Yes?
Does it have to be a parrot?
Why, no. The species are flexible so long as the usual rules obtain. You could be a snake, or a duck, or what you will.
I see. Well, we'll be in touch. Woo!